Welcome to Relaxing Stoic, a space for timeless wisdom, deep reflection, and inner peace. In this video, we will explore the Stoic art of resilience, how to endure life's hardships with strength and clarity. The wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus will guide us as we learn to turn obstacles into opportunities. If you find value in these teachings, consider subscribing for more Stoic reflections every week. And if a particular idea resonates with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Let's grow together on this journey of wisdom and self-mastery. Now, take a deep breath. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Let's begin. The nature of resilience. Life is unpredictable. Storms will come. Hardships are inevitable. But the question is not whether you will face adversity. The question is, how will you respond? Pause, reflect. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. But this is not always easy to accept. Think about a moment in your life when you felt completely overwhelmed. Maybe it was a personal loss. Maybe it was financial hardship. Or maybe it was an uncertain future staring back at you. At that moment, the mind seeks control. It wants to fix everything immediately. It tries to resist reality. It fights against the current, like a swimmer battling against a raging river. And what happens? The swimmer exhausts himself. He grows weaker, until eventually he is overpowered by the current. Now imagine a different approach. Imagine letting go. Floating instead of fighting. By accepting the flow of the river, the swimmer conserves his energy. He learns to move with the current instead of against it, and in doing so, he finds a way forward. This is what resilience is about. Think about a tree in the middle of a raging storm. The winds howl, the rain crashes against it. A weak tree resists. It fights against the wind. And what happens? It snaps. But a strong tree, it bends. It sways with the wind. And because it does not resist, it survives. Resilience is not about being unbreakable. It is about learning how to bend without breaking, to stand firm in your roots but remain flexible in your branches, to endure hardship not with force but with adaptability. Pause, reflect. Now, let's go deeper. The story of Marcus Aurelius. Most people imagine emperors as rulers of vast lands, surrounded by wealth, luxury, and power. Golden halls, lavish feasts, legions of soldiers at their command. But for Marcus Aurelius, life was anything but easy. He ruled during one of the most brutal and chaotic times in Roman history. A time of war, famine, betrayal, and plague. The Antonine Plague, a deadly pandemic, swept through the empire like wildfire. It is estimated to have killed 5 million people. Entire villages were wiped out. The streets of Rome were filled with bodies. There was no cure, no way to stop it. And yet, as emperor, Marcus Aurelius could not run from his duty. Imagine leading a nation through such devastation. Imagine waking up each morning, knowing the crisis is far from over. The weight of an empire rested on his shoulders. But he did not complain. He did not despair. Instead, he picked up his journal and he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This journal, what we now call meditations, was never meant for the world to read. It was not written for an audience, not for glory, not for power. It was his private refuge, his way of reminding himself to stay strong no matter what happened. Think about that. A man who ruled the greatest empire on earth struggled, suffered, and yet, instead of allowing his hardships to break him, he used them to sharpen his mind. Pause. Now, think about your own life. What is your battle? What hardships are you facing? And most importantly, how are you responding? Pause. Breathe. Now let's go even deeper. The Stoic approach to hardship. The Stoics did not just endure hardship, they embraced it. They did not merely accept suffering, they welcomed it. They called this mindset amor fati, the love of fate. Not just accepting what happens, but loving it, even pain, even failure, even loss. Because everything that happens to us can be turned into fuel for growth. Think about a sculptor carving a masterpiece from a block of stone. Every strike of the chisel removes part of the stone. And yet, with every cut, the sculpture begins to take shape. Hardship is the chisel. You are the masterpiece. Without the chiseling, without the struggle, there is no transformation. Now, think about fire. Fire does not reject wood. It consumes it. It grows stronger. Your challenges are the wood. Your mindset is the fire. Obstacles are not roadblocks. They are stepping stones. What stands in the way becomes the way. Amor fati is not just about enduring pain. It is about seeing pain as necessary, seeing difficulty as fuel for something greater. Imagine two people facing the same hardship. One curses it, resists it, asks, "Why me?" The other welcomes it, uses it, asks, "What can I learn from this?" One becomes bitter, the other becomes stronger. Which one will you be? Will you resist what life throws at you? Or will you use it to grow? Let's look at a real-life example. The story of Nelson Mandela. Imagine being imprisoned for 27 years, locked away, forgotten by the world, stripped of your freedom, not for a crime you committed, but for standing up for what was right, for daring to challenge injustice, for demanding freedom for your people. Would you give up? Would you feel bitter? Would you let anger consume you? Many would, but Nelson Mandela didn't. For nearly 3 decades, he sat in a small prison cell. His world was reduced to 4 bare walls. His days were filled with endless labor, breaking rocks in the blazing sun. No comfort, no relief, no guarantee he would ever be free again. Yet in the face of such suffering, he made a choice. He refused to let hatred control him. Instead of bitterness, he cultivated wisdom. Instead of resentment, he developed patience. He once said, "As I walked out the door toward the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I'd still be in prison." Let that sink in. Even after 27 years of imprisonment, he did not seek revenge. Instead, he forgave. He united a divided nation. He turned enemies into allies. He turned pain into power. He turned suffering into strength. Mandela did not let circumstances define him. He defined himself by his response to suffering. He said, "Do not judge me by my successes. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again. This is resilience." The Stoic mindset in action. Pause, reflect. If he could endure that, what can you endure? Pause. Now, let's apply this to our own lives. How to cultivate resilience. So how do we develop this strength of mind? How do we become unshakable in the face of adversity? Resilience is not something we are born with. It is something we cultivate, something we train. The Stoics believed that resilience was not a reaction, but a skill, a way of life, and they developed practical methods to strengthen the mind so that when hardship arrived, they were ready. Here are 3 ways to cultivate resilience in your own life. 1. The dichotomy of control. There are things you control and things you do not. When facing difficulty, ask yourself, is this within my control? If yes, take action. If no, let it go. Most suffering comes not from the event itself, but from our attachment to controlling the uncontrollable. Let's take an everyday example. Imagine you're stuck in traffic. You're late. You feel your frustration rising. At this moment, you have two options. You can curse the situation, honk the horn, let stress consume you. Or you can accept it. Put on a podcast. Use the time to reflect. One response leads to frustration. The other leads to peace. Which do you choose? What in your life are you holding on to? That is outside your control. Pause. Reflect. Let it go. 2. Voluntary discomfort. The Stoics trained themselves for hardship before it arrived. Seneca slept on the floor, though he was wealthy. Marcus Aurelius woke up early to train in the cold. Why? Because when you train your mind to handle small hardships, you become unbreakable. When the real storms come, life will test you. There will be pain. There will be suffering. But if you prepare your mind, if you build endurance, you will stand firm while others collapse. Here's a challenge. Take a cold shower. Go a day without luxury. Push yourself beyond what feels comfortable. It's not about suffering. It's about proving to yourself that you are stronger than comfort. That your mind controls your body, not the other way around. The greatest victories are won in the mind, long before the battle begins. Pause. Breathe and prepare yourself. 3. Memento mori, remembering death. Life is short. Nothing lasts forever. Not pain, not joy, not even life itself. The Stoics meditated on death, not to fear it, but to live fully. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. If today was your last day, would you waste it on worry? Would you let fear stop you from speaking your mind? Would you hold grudges instead of forgiving? Or would you embrace this day fully and completely? Because tomorrow is not promised. The past is gone. And the future is only a concept. What you have, what you truly have, is this moment, right now. Pause, reflect, and choose to live. Why should you cultivate resilience? Why should you train your mind to endure? because on the other side of hardship is transformation. A person who has never been tested, who has never endured difficulty, who has never suffered, is like a sword that has never been forged in fire. Weak, fragile, easily broken. But those who have faced hardship, those who have walked through suffering and emerged stronger, they become something unbreakable. A diamond is just carbon under extreme pressure. Without struggle, it remains coal. Without hardship, it remains ordinary. But with heat, pressure, and time, it becomes something extraordinary. And so do we. You are not defined by what happens to you. You are defined by how you rise, by how you adapt, by how you persist. The storms of life do not come to destroy you. They come to shape you, to mold you, to reveal what you are truly capable of. The greatest minds in history, the wisest philosophers, the most resilient leaders, were all forged in struggle. Marcus Aurelius ruled through plague and war. Nelson Mandela endured 27 years in prison. Epictetus was born into slavery. And yet, all of them chose resilience. They refused to let suffering break them. And because of that, their wisdom lives on. Now, think about your own life. What challenges have shaped you? What struggles have tested you? And what will you do? The next time life tests you again, will you resist it? Or will you embrace it? Breathe in, hold. Let it out. Now, let's bring it all together. Resilience is not a gift. It is a skill, one that you can develop, one that will carry you through every storm. When life gets tough, do not break. Adapt, persist, rise again. This is the Stoic way. This is your way. If this message resonated with you, consider subscribing for more Stoic wisdom. Your journey toward inner strength is just beginning. And if you'd like to reflect, share your thoughts in the comments. Your wisdom may inspire someone else on their path. Thank you for listening. Stay strong, stay mindful, and as always, keep moving forward.